dawn in the desert, a clear and chilly November morning. We are near the city of Buckeye, Arizona, where a caravan of cars is arriving, carrying volunteers. For the next several hours, they will comb this unforgiving landscape, looking for a young man who's been missing since June of 2021. His name, Daniel Robinson. And leading the search, not law enforcement, but Daniel's father, David.
Where is everybody located?
For 9 painful months, Robinson and his team of volunteers, people he now calls family,
This is my family.
have been desperately trying to find any trace of his son.
He's a very bright, intelligent geologist. Anything that Daniel wanted to do, he would do it. He's born without a right hand, but he found ways to master anything that he wanted to do. You know, he's a geologist. Of course, Arizona is the ideal place.
In June 2021, Daniel had just begun a job doing field work at a desert well site. He'd always kept in close touch with his family back home in South Carolina. But around this time, Daniel suddenly stopped calling.
I tried to call his phone constantly. He wasn't answering.
In fact, the whole family tried calling Daniel. Nothing. His sister in Arizona checked his apartment. No one there.
I was worried. I didn't want to panic because I didn't want my children to panic, so that's when I decided to call the Buckeye Police Department.
The Buckeye PD is a small one with barely more than 100 officers. Nevertheless, they began investigating by first checking the area where Daniel was reportedly working. Nothing turned up. 2 days later, David Robinson, desperate for answers, felt he had to take matters into his own hands.
I just grabbed everything I had, threw it in my vehicle, and just started driving. And I made it here. I came straight through. Left South Carolina, came straight to Arizona.
Some 45 hours later, David arrived in this daunting desert, exhausted, but in a panic. His son was out here somewhere, all alone, facing 3-digit heat, rattlesnakes, and not a soul or building in sight. So on his own, David started searching and soon made his way to the well site where his son was last seen.
This is where it all began. This is where the whole narrative started. My son drove off into the desert and vanished, maybe from here.
David then met with a witness, a co-worker of his son's, who said he saw Daniel at the well the day he disappeared.
He did tell me that my son seemed like he was looking out into space somewhere, looking out into the desert terrain, kind of staring off, and was acting really quiet. And then he told me my son just kind of waved off to him, got in his vehicle, and drove off.
Where he went and what exactly happened next, no one seems to know. Soon after that meeting, David began recruiting volunteers to help him search the sprawling Sonoran Desert. Every Saturday for the next few weeks, they scoured this barren, treacherous landscape. They have not found Daniel. Then, in July 2021, a break, a big one. A local rancher found Daniel's Jeep rolled over in a remote ravine.
When I first saw that crash site, I was really devastated. It's a place I had to go to and see for myself.
The airbags had deployed. The sunroof looked as if it had been kicked open, perhaps used as an escape route. And this was odd. Outside the Jeep were what appeared to be Daniel's clothes and work boots, his wallet still in his blue jeans. Inside the vehicle was his college ID, laptop, keys, cell phone, and plenty of bottled water. To help make sense of this mystery, David hired private investigator Jeff McGrath, an expert at reconstructing accidents. He has a theory of what might have happened.
There was nothing along this route that the vehicle took into that bottom ravine that matched the damage. It's telling me the vehicle was probably crashed somewhere else. Either moved here or it was continued to be driven, and this was its final stop. And whether somebody stole it in joyriding, whether Daniel was in it, but it tells me something happened somewhere else.
The Jeep has since been moved to a secured location for further analysis, but plenty of evidence still remains of the crash.
I don't believe it was enough to kill, no. The airbags had enough force to do some damage. They strike you in the face, and they come out with a lot of force, and it could cause a concussion. But there wasn't enough violence here in this crash to cause a lethal.
That suggests Daniel survived and was perhaps disoriented and maybe wandered aimlessly into the desert. Could this be other than accidental? Could foul play be involved in Daniel's disappearance? It's something McGrath and David have not ruled out. It's something police have examined too. To this point, there is no evidence of that. None at all. Whatever happened back in June of 2021 has David Robinson now bracing for the worst.
It's hard to say you're searching for your son, walking around the desert with no clothing, no shoes. So I had to mentally put it in my head that I'm doing a recovery. So I need to go find every spot I can out here to rescue my son. He may be hurt, injured, somewhere stuck, whatever. I need to find my son. Yeah, I found something up here interesting.
David is hoping to get more attention, help, and resources from the Buckeye PD, which says this is still an ongoing investigation, although so far not a criminal one.
Okay, so we're still working this side.
He's also tried to enlist federal help. In the fall of 2021, the Buckeye PD briefed the FBI and asked for their assistance. The Bureau recently told us they're still assessing the case. So far, they have not gotten involved. So for now, David Robinson and his team of volunteers continue to search.
I really have faith that somehow God can bless that he's alive somewhere, and I hope so. I am not stopping. He's my son. He's my responsibility. He's a fighter. He never give up on anything. I definitely won't give up on him.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son.
And I'm still out here searching for him. Thank you guys for coming in this morning's Q&A. My name is David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. My son Daniel, a graduate of College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina. He's also a native of Columbia, South Carolina. My son decided to come out to Arizona to start his career, start his life as an adult, leaving what I call the bird nest to start his life in Phoenix, Arizona, where he landed his first job with a company called Matrix Southwest Groundwater, also called Matrix New World, right here in Phoenix. They hired him on as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. My son's job is very important to Arizona. He goes out to various well sites all over the state of Arizona to assess wells, to see if those wells by law have to produce 100 years of water. His job is to determine that, as well as get those samples from the well to have those waters tested to check the viability of those wells, if the water is even drinkable. So his job is very important. My son was doing his job on June 23rd. He got 2 assignments to do 2 well sites. On June 23rd, he had completed 1 well site, the first one that morning, and then he was supposedly be heading to the second well site. According to the worker from a company called Weber, this worker said that my son met him on off of Sun Valley Parkway. They met at the well site. They went 1 mile west and also 2 miles north to get to the well site. Once they arrived at the well site around 9 o'clock that morning, they had a 10-minute conversation or so, and my son was gone by 9:15. Of course, you guys, he have never been seen since. As you guys know, almost 30 days later, on July the 19th, my son's vehicle was found right here in this ravine. Right here behind me, you see the picture of it there on the side. Everything that my son, with clothing, was found 2 or 3 feet away from that vehicle will suggest that it's my son's clothing. A wallet that belongs to my son was found with those clothing items. All his personal effects was inside the vehicle, like his cell phone, his work computer, as well as some other things was found in that car, in that vehicle. And but my son has not been found. You guys know I have been here since June 26th, searching for him. I did put in the missing person report on June 23rd because my family and I, we know that it is very unusual. It's not something that Daniel would do. It's out of his character to even go anywhere without talking to his family and his friends. First of all, him going to two well sites, not just 1, but went to 2, that morning. If he had any plans to travel, he definitely would have told myself, his mother, his siblings, someone of his travel plans. Of course, we knowing Daniel, this is not typical of him. He was not a mastermind. He would not crash his vehicle, take off his clothing, do all of this just to disappear from his family, to leave life as he know it. So, of course, as a family, we definitely was pushing out for the Buckeye Police Department, who's in charge of my son's case, to work really hard to find out what happened to Daniel. Like I said, I've been here since June 26th, fighting for him, doing my own investigation, as well as started my own searches, my own flyer distribution, and as well as doing things like I'm doing now, this Q&A to get awareness out about Daniel's case. It's very important to me, very important to his mother, very important to his siblings, his family, to make sure that he's been brought back home. As you guys know, you can see on the bottom of the screen that it's a tip line. There's an anonymous tip line. It's tip line, but it can be anonymous if you guys want to. If a person knows something, heard something, or say something, they can say something by using that tip line. They don't want nobody to know who they are. They can remain anonymous. I pay for this tip line. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. Live operators to take their call. Like I said, they will allow you to be anonymous. We will not know who you are. You can give us the information that will bring Daniel home. Of course, if you don't want to speak to anyone, you can also do, as you see on the bottom of the screen, just text the word tip to that number. And again, you can remain anonymous. I like to say, for those who are very skeptical, I assure you there's a very anonymous, it's very, very, you would not be known who you are. But if you feel nervous about that still, you can use a burner phone and still text the word tip to that number. The form will come up and you can stay anonymous. So please, it's been over a year now. I've been searching for Daniel. My family has been searching for Daniel. Also, we're pushing law enforcement. You guys, it's time for you to say something. If you know something, it's time to say something. Go ahead and use your conscience. Go ahead and use your heart, your humanity, and bring my son back home to his family. So again, that's the anonymous tip line sitting on the bottom of the screen there. Please utilize that number. Also, if you are a person that just coming to the Q&A for the first time, please hit that like, share, subscribe to this channel. It's very important, because that's part of what I do out here, is to bring awareness to my son's case. I've been fighting for Daniel for over a year now, and one of the biggest things is communication. I try to get all the information I can out there to the public. You guys have been champion to everything from help me fund this whole thing that I'm doing, remaining here in Arizona, doing desert searches as well, also doing the flyer distributions and everything else it takes, following leads, you name it. Everything you guys have been helping. You've been helping with your time, your efforts, as well as your support. Every time I see wonderful messages that you guys send, it helps me out morally. It helps me out mentally. So definitely thank you for everything you guys have done. But like I said, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. That definitely helps this channel grow. I really need to reach out to as many people as I can. Also, I like to help other families. Any family that want to come on, I want to be able to have this channel growing really well, so that I can help other families get their story out as well. So again, if you can, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button right now. That would help out. Also, if you want to pass out flyers, we definitely need people to pass out flyers. I have sent out thousands of flyers all over this country. Every chance we get the flyers out, my team and myself, and try to get them out everywhere we can. You guys who want to help out, like I said, you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. There's a PDF there for you to print out flyers if you want to do that, or if you want flyers sent to you, you definitely can email us at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com and give us your information. We'll mail those flyers out to you. As well, if you want to help in another way, you want to be an ambassador for your city, your state, you also could do that too. I come out every Thursday. You guys, please, if you come out, I've been asking you guys if you can, just want to hear me out. The ambassador program is very useful. You can come out tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock, or every Thursday at 5 o'clock. And the Zoom link is on the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com page. You guys is on the front page. You can hit that Zoom link there, and I'll be there to tell you about the ambassador program. And it's pretty much, you guys, if just be an ambassador for your city to get those flyers out there, because it's coming in handy when we launch the Daniel Robinson Foundation. All that stuff will work together. So definitely want you guys to help that way as well. Also, you can volunteer in other ways. If you live in another city, another state, another country, and you want to help, you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and hit that tab. Like I said, and definitely, say volunteer in other ways tab, and put your skill sets there. That will help us when the foundation launches, as well as some upcoming events and things like that. So definitely put your information there. That would definitely help. I know some people have already done that months ago, and I really appreciate that. We still getting this Daniel Robinson Foundation launch, and when that time comes, we can utilize those items, so those information. So thank you so much for that. Again, I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I definitely come in here this morning to talk about Daniel's case. As you guys know, that's what this channel is all about. If you guys have any questions, all you have to do is put the word question or question mark or a capital letter Q before your question. As I'm coming down the comment section, I would definitely see that. So this morning, I don't have a lot of content I will be sharing this morning. I will be this afternoon. If you guys come back this evening, Q&A prime time, I'll have some content. But this morning, I'm definitely going to have less content, and I want to hear some of your questions. I want to get to every question I can this morning, and we could talk about those things in Daniel's case. And for those who have not heard about Daniel's case, or just learning and have some details that you want to hear, I'll try to answer all the questions that I can. If there's some things there that would impede on the investigation I'm doing, as far as I know, I'm the only one that's doing an investigation. And if you guys have any questions, I definitely would like to answer those questions. Of course, I'm pushing the police department to do more, and to tell me they're doing the investigation themselves. Tell me that. I don't want to hear it in the public. I want to hear them saying they're doing the investigation, as well as trying to get the Buckeye Police Department at this point. As you guys, everybody who've been following this case know how I feel about it. My son's case needs to be released to proper authority that can handle my son's case. There's a lot of damage, as you guys know, have been done to Daniel's case, and I want to get this case moved over to another law enforcement agency. We have two in mind. One, my son did go missing in Maricopa County. We asking the county to step up, and also my son is a resident of Tempe, Arizona, so we're asking the Tempe Police Department to also step up. So definitely we are pushing those two angles there, trying to get some of those things accomplished. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. If you have any questions, I will be hitting those up. I'm coming down the comment section now. I want to first of all thank some of you. Tracy, for coming in this morning. Thanks so much for sharing your time and your morning to be here on this Q&A. Also, I want to thank Twistina for being here this morning. Thank you. I really appreciate it, to Twistina, for showing your love and coming out here and sharing your morning here as well. Greenlight 8, thank you so much. I thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, like Greenlight, if you have any questions, you guys don't forget to put that question mark, the Q, or the capital letter Q, or things like that. It will definitely help me find you as coming down. But I will stop and answer that question. Did Daniel know any other language? Not that I know of. It could be something similar as Spanish. Of course, we learn little things like that in school, maybe French or something. But Daniel would not speak any other language around the household. I definitely don't know if he do or not. If he do know anything that's other than English, I don't think he speak it fluently. So, but thank you so much for that question. You guys, thank you so much for coming in. Raymond, thank you so much for being here this morning. And also you, Sophia, for being here as well, coming this morning. Thank you for the information, and thank you for putting everything. Thank you for moderating in the chats, putting out the information, because we definitely need that moderating. And thank you so much for doing that on your time. We're out to know where you need to be right now, so I thank you for coming in on the Q&A and helping. Also, you guys have been signing that petition. I really appreciate that. You've been putting your voice to this petition. That's why I like to call it, putting your voice to that petition. We had 120,812 voices. They have put your voice to that petition. You guys have believed everything I'm doing out here. The petition, if you guys look at every update, and if you believe in those things that I'm standing for, I really appreciate it when you put your voice there. And if you have multiple email addresses, you can do it multiple times. You can put your email, you can sign that petition multiple times with your voice. If you do that, that's just like you amplifying your voice. You're speaking up louder, and I really appreciate that as well. Thank you so much. And you guys, also, I do have to mention every time that on change.org, you will probably see a donating tab there. I don't have anything on change.org. So if you do that, that's definitely going to change.org. I would not encourage you not to help help change.org because it's a very good platform that's definitely helping people like myself to have a voice. You know what I'm saying? Because change.org is providing a voice for me to get you guys to put your voice to my voice and make some changes. That's why they call it change.org, I'm sure. But definitely, if you guys want to donate to change.org, that's fine. But just be aware it's not coming, any funding is coming this direction. So thank you so much for that. But definitely need you to sign that petition because it's very important. I will be using that. I constantly use it as we're speaking, but I will be using that in the future as well. So definitely need all the support I can, all the backing that I can. I want to tell you, Rachel, on up front, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that. God bless you for really, God bless you for doing that and showing your love. I will be posting you up here shortly. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I saw that on the other screen on the YouTube side of things. So thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Also, T and Wildflower, thanks for your constant support coming in this morning on this Q&A. Just really supporting. Every time I see you there, see your name there, I'm really happy to see familiar faces and, familiar names on the Q&A. That really helps. Like I told you guys, when you put these positive things there and show your love, that helps me mentally. You know, you can imagine how hard it is for my family at home. Daniel's mother, his siblings, as well as his aunties, he had grandparents that really care about him, that love him, and they each and every last one of them going through things. Also, you can imagine how I feel as well, being here at ground zero for over a year, fighting for Daniel, standing out here, represent my entire family, and being out here fighting. So it's very hard. So definitely, when I see your faces over and over again, or I see your support and things like that, it really helps me mentally, keep me going as well. So thank you so much. Also, thank you, Sophia, for putting that up. The donation, you guys want to help me reach that goal. I really appreciate it. It's a constant thing, you know. So from day one, I started to GoFundMe. I have been utilizing those funds to operate everything I'm doing here, to fund everything I'm doing here. And you guys, I really appreciate it. You want to help me be here over a year, so I really appreciate it. Still here, still fighting, still trying to do everything I can for Daniel, and I need help. So you guys, if you anything that you give, I'm really grateful. So I really thankful, and I'm grateful for you guys supporting the way that you have been supporting. So Green Light 8, again, thanks so much for being here. Do you guys see any footprints pointing to possibilities where he might have went? No, I have not. Of course, even the Buckeye Police Department have their assessment of when this vehicle was found behind me, when it's found in that scene. One of the things they first told me, even though they claim they use cadaver dogs from Maricopa County and cadaver dogs and also search dogs from Maricopa County. So again, you guys, Maricopa County is supposedly using their dogs. That mean they're involved in the search with my son. So I would think they'd be more involved in this case as well. But according to Buckeye Police Department, they use their dogs, and there was nothing for them to follow. Even though they say they had that's my son's clothing on the ground, they said the dogs came up empty-handed. They was unable to track anything. Didn't see any footprints or anything like that. So if that's my son's clothing in his car, if he was out there, those dogs should have been picking those type things up, right? But of course, they said they had nothing. They had no footprints, no nothing, no tracks, nothing. So those are things that was told to me at the beginning by the Buckeye Police Department. Also, thank you for putting this up, Sophia, as well. The flyers. So you guys want to print the PDF, like I told you up front, you can go to pleasehelpfinddane.com. There's a PDF there for you guys if you want to, print out these flyers. That really help. That really help as well. Like I said, everything is by funding. Everything's by funding, and I need help with that as well. So if you guys want to print out the flyers, that'll make funding a lot easier, as well as it helped me get the flyers out like I'm trying to do. It had to go out as far as I can. I'm trying to get every state I can. People say, hey, Daniel went missing in Arizona. Why you want to reach somebody that may be living in Georgia or something, or New York? That's because, my mind would tell me this. It's a possibility that somebody have been passing by, and I say this over and over again, passing by Sun Valley Parkway that day and seen something, but it really just went in the back of their mind. They really didn't pay it much. They thought it was strange, just kept on going. And they was just happened to be in a U-Haul truck or traveling to the airport because they are now moving to Maine or something, or Wisconsin. And I want to be able to reach that person see these flyers, and then they'll think about it. It'll jog their memory or something. They'll call that tip line, and bam, I have some answers, some clues of things that happened that day that will bring Daniel home. So definitely want to reach out to as many people I can. That's what the flyers are very important for. And it's also good to have that infrastructure there. That's why you guys, I'm saying, if you guys want to join that ambassador program, it's all about the infrastructure to be able to help other families as well. So I'll be doing that. So you guys want to help other families, definitely, join in for the ambassador program. But the flyers is very key. Is one of the pieces that a person have to do when they have a missing loved one, is try to get information. Like I said, communication is key. Is to get all the information that you can out there about this person. That's why you have to have this website to do what I'm doing. Do something on social media. Social media is a big tool. So you guys, it's all of that. It takes all of that. So definitely, if you guys can, if you want to print those flyers, the PDF is there. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. And also, I want to say thanks to for putting this up as well. You guys want to get in contact with myself and my team, definitely you can use the number, of course, the public cell phone number you see. Well, I don't have it on the bottom of the screen right now, but it's 803-200-7994. That's the public cell phone number. I've been having a hard time to really get to all the many information that people leaving on text messaging and also on the voicemail. So I'm getting to those things very slowly. But it also, you guys want to reach me another way, that would be please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. Saying for information for us, you want to get on the Q&A, you have a loved one, and you want to share your story, you want to do that as well, you can reach out to me that way. Also, for other things, so thanks so much if you guys, utilize those two tools there as well. All right, thank you again, Raymond, for your question. You guys have a question just like Raymond have done here. He put the word question first before his question, make it easier for me to see it as it's coming down. Also, you can utilize the capital letter Q or a question mark or something, some question marks or something that would say, hey, this is a question, and I would catch on to it. So will you have any idea when the forensics of Daniel's electronic devices will be completed? No, I do not. Only thing I would have to wait on is when they say they're completed with it. But no, I don't have a deadline or a date. So, but I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful, you guys. You all know I've been trying to get the forensics done for a while. I still need the forensics done on this vehicle here. I need to find out if this is even my son's clothing on the ground because we don't really identify it as a family. So we don't know if it's Daniel clothing or not, first of all. So, but we definitely need the forensics done on that, the safety vest, the shoes, the red transfer paint on the vehicle, the airbags, so there's a whole lot more that need to be done. So I'm not stopping. I'm just going to still push real hard. I'm asking you guys to help as well. I'm pushing real hard to get forensics done, really pressing hard, because that's very key to all the things I have found out about my son's case. I know a lot of information about my son's case, a lot that I won't be able to put in the public, but there's some things that that's there that would suggest things. But you know what? Some of those clues only could be backed by forensics. So definitely have to get those done and those things done that would help me understand what exactly happened to my son. So definitely going to do that as well. But definitely, I don't know a deadline. I don't have a time frame when they'll be finished with the electronics. So, but I know when I do get that information back, there should be some things there that definitely would help. Like I said, forensics is important. Electronic forensics, everything, all that is important to finding out, answers and things like that. So hopefully I get more information about the days leading up to Daniel disappearing, as well as the day he went missing. So I definitely want to know a lot more than what we know now. All right. Also, thank you, Latoya. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you coming in. Good morning to you. I really enjoyed your mom and dad when they came up, shared some time here in Arizona with me. Happy anniversary to them. They've been married, you guys, for 30 years. Wonderful couple. But my best friend is as well. Her dad came up here to spend time with me and help me go out there in the desert, do some assessment out there. So really happy that he came up here. They just left. So I'm really grateful for them showing up as well here to Arizona. So tell them when you get home, thank them so much, and I love them as well. And I love you too. God bless you. Also, thank you, Nikki, for being here this morning on this Q&A from the Facebook side of things. I really appreciate it. You also have been championing to helping. Also, thank you, Tatia, for being here this morning. Thank you for the like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. For putting that up. You guys, you can hit that like, share, subscribe button. That definitely will help. That will help with the algorithms, get this channel to grow more, so I can be able to get out to as many people as I can about Daniel's story, as well as other families and stuff like that. So definitely, you guys, you can hit it right now before you forget, or you have to move on. So please, if you can, that would definitely help as many people as I can. That would help a lot. So thank you so much. Also, thank you for moderating, Tati. I really appreciate it. Also, thank you. Let me see who else I got here. I think I said already, but Rachel Arnold, thanks so much. God bless you for being here. Also, Barry for being here. I really appreciate it. You so much also for moderating and all the help and everything you do in the background as well, part of the team. All right. Thank you so much, D Love, for being here this morning. God bless you. I really appreciate you being here. Also, PM Channel. Thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. Excuse me, everybody. Is there any progress on having Daniel's case transferred from Buckeye Police Department to another police precinct? I'm really working on that hard, you guys. Like I said, everything I do out here is not just desert searches. I even had the family members would ask me, David, why are you still in the desert so long? Because that's the last thing, less only information we have about my son's case. Of course, the Buckeye police believe one man's story. That story, in my opinion, wasn't vetted enough. You guys already know how I feel about that story. So many holes in that story, and I tear it apart. And I don't call people a liar, but I just don't believe it. I don't believe the story; it just don't add up. And but that's the only information we have. We had to go by one man's story. This whole narrative is based on one person's story, and the story, even though the story don't make sense, it don't agree with the timeline. It don't agree with the phone records, all that kind of stuff. But nevertheless, the Buckeye Police Department believe that, and they have it in their report. But that's the only thing I can go by. So of course we had to go to such a desert just in case my son is out there. We had to do a rescue mission that turned out to be after a certain length of time being a recovery mission to this date. So definitely some areas that I still had to get taken care of out there. But I also been, like I said, doing the things outside the desert, following leads, going to different cities to getting these flyers out, going to the homeless, started going to the homeless shelters, to some of these facilities like the mental health wards in the hospital. And so it was things like that. And then it turned to the flyer distribution, where I had to also do billboards and things like that to get all the information I can out to the public, as well as doing events, to doing things like I'm doing here now. So definitely a lot of more movement, and also fighting with the Buckeye Police Department, as well as constantly meeting with other officials and doing things to try to get Dane's case removed to the proper place. I feel the proper place. So yes, that's no real hard movement, but it was some movement there that I'm very happy about right now. So with different agency, is there any progress in heaven? His case changed to an endangered person. And one thing, you guys, again, I talk about this all the time. Look at the scene behind me. Just take Daniel out that picture. Of course, the picture that wasn't there with Daniel, we added that stuff onto it. But think about it. If a law officer, again, police vehicle was turned over like this and found in a ravine, his uniform on the ground, first of all, that would have been a criminal case. Every police agency would have been out there. It wouldn't have been no 30 days that the officers out missing, right? And taking one person's story. They would have vet that person, put them in interrogation room, all kind of stuff, right? The other part is, if you think about it now, by the Buckeye Police Department's testimony to me and my family, what I had to report back to my family, they said that, Mr. Robinson, your son's vehicle flipped and turned and did all this kind of stuff, right? I mean, the guy was moving his hands. Then he said it landed on the side, and he said the sunroof was landed on the side. He said, but the good news is, Mr. Robinson, your son didn't sustain any injury. That's what they said at first, because we didn't see any blood in the vehicle. That's the reason why they felt like he had no injuries. And they said they also know that he had a seatbelt on because the way the seatbelt lock when after an accident. But in the same breath, this detective told me they believe he had a severe brain injury, and he kicked his way out of the sunroof. And when he kicked his way out of the sunroof, he kicked the glass. That's where the glass on the ground came from, and he kicked his way out. And a brain injury would cause you to think you're hot, and you shred your clothes, and that's why his clothes were found 3 feet away from the vehicle in a pile now, and that he was ran off butt naked in the desert to hide up under a tree to cool off, and some wild animal probably got him, right? And then, of course, they came with the BS about him joining the monastery, become a monk. But the whole thing, what I'm getting to is that if you believe a person had a brain injury and you believe that their clothes and the clothes is on the ground because of this brain injury, and it's 118 degrees out there in the summer, and it was hot. It was hot when that time of the year my son was missing. It's hot out there, and he's butt naked with no water. And he already told me of the 2 cases of water that's untouched water in his vehicle. You tell me after all of that, you didn't want to make him an endangered person. And I know they didn't, because they gave me everything. They gave me the vehicle the next day and threatened me if I didn't get it out of there, they would be having it towed out of there, and I had to pay storage fees. As well as a couple of days after that, they gave me, in a meeting, after the meeting, they gave me everything from that scene marked for safekeeping in evidence bags. And that means, when the safekeeping, meaning that, in their opinion, with this brain injury they saying he's gonna come back and grab his things. So that's the question I'm saying, you guys. If you think about it, that's the reason why they did so much damage to my son's case. I don't want them putting their hands more on Daniel's stuff. So you guys, and he should have been a dangerous person just from that. He should have been a dangerous person from the fact that they sat there and made up all the stuff, in my opinion, about coworkers said he was acting odd and strange. Like, what coworkers? When my son is a field geologist, he work in the field. That's the title, field geologist, hydrogeologist. He works in the field. They give him a work laptop. He get his assignments from that laptop, and he leave his home and head out to these well sites. Geologists, I did have many meetings with that company, and they told me that the geologists barely come into the building, the office building. They come in just to drop samples off, and they're gone. Things like that. They come through a back door at that. So the thing is, who are these co-workers, with plural, that would say anything about my son's demeanor, who don't even see him often, But they rather, and then on top of that, they rather take that what somebody had to say that barely see my son against a father who's been there since day one, his birth. And I say something is wrong, but you don't see that in the report. But the wrong quote that I said, he was, all kind of other stuff they put there. So again, you guys, that question is, I agree with you. He should have been an endangered person, at least, right? At least a dangerous person. They should have been out there very much looking. You think about it, you guys. The first search that ever been done on my son's case came almost 3 days after he went missing. They say they used Phoenix Firebird. I'm still waiting on Phoenix with that information. I've been asked for that information to see if this flight actually even happened. Still don't have that information. They first initially went to Phoenix. They say, well, I don't see no record of it happening, but they was checking. They still checking, and I still ain't got no answer to the day. It's been over a month now. I don't really believe the flight ever happened. I think it's something they told myself and my family just to make us feel like they went out there to search for him. The other part is, even if they did, 2 weeks, as almost like I said, almost 3 days after he went missing, and then here it is 2 weeks after that when they did the second search with Silver Albatross. And because of what this guy said at the well site, that he didn't see no Phoenix Firebird and he see no police out there, he been out there every day. Same guy that they believed with his whole narrative said that also. So that made me suspicious. And when I heard Buckeye saying it's coming out with this Silver Air Patrol that's going to do a search, I came out there early. Myself, my daughter, and Gwen came out there early. And we waited on the side of the road. And yeah, they showed up. Just showed up late the time they said they was going to show up. And they did the search. Almost 2 weeks after that, they did a search and came back empty-handed. Same area this vehicle was found, right? Came back empty-handed. They said they ain't found nothing out there. So you can think about the distance of time when they're saying they're doing these bogus, to me, opinion searches. My searches have been producing all kind of stuff out there in the desert. We're producing clothing. You guys don't hear about. I report that to the Buckeye Police Department as well. Clothing found near the well site. In the same manner, these clothing was supposedly found in this crash site. Everything this person was wearing on their body was in a pile. Socks, clothes, underwear, all that stuff in a pile. It's near the well site, but it wasn't my son because we knew it wasn't his clothing because of the size of the pants. Very large guy. And so it happened to someone. We started thinking it's a serial killer out there. So those things. We've also found human remains out there. Every time we was finding the human remains, we found a lot of animal bones. At the beginning, they said it was human bones, and they were supposed to be collecting those things. But then once the public started hearing about it a lot, then they started calling them animal bones, trying to downplay all the human bones that we have been finding out there, downplaying them down they're trying to downplay it down to just the skull. So they even tried that, in the public, the Buckeye Police Department. So we finding things like human remains. We've been finding out, I found two of the electronics that's being forensically done right now is 2 cell phones, also go along with my son's cell phone, that's been found near the crash site. So my searches have been reducing a lot of things out there in that desert, and a lot of things that's suspicious, as well as, like I say, human remains, a human skull. And you guys, and they haven't even found the construction cone out there, not one time. And they so-called use cadaver dogs, search dogs, and all the stuff. I don't believe they really searching doing things, because the skull that we found was found near this crash site. If they had Maricopa County's dogs, why they ain't find the human skull that we found as civilians walking on the ground? So again, you guys, there's a lot to that story. When you see the Buckeye Police Department claiming they did a whole lot of stuff and they put in a report to make themselves look good, but in all actuality, in my opinion, nothing had been done. So I have been doing more than the Buckeye Police Department. So they kind of right when they told me, when I asked for the FBI, and they said, the FBI said, you, Mr. Robinson, are doing such a good job on your own. We don't need to come in. I mean, they don't need to come in because I'm doing a better job than Buckeye, but I don't think I'm doing a better job than what the FBI can do. That's why I'm still pushing for the FBI to come into my son's case, you guys. So that's an insult, by the way, too. Insult to my intelligence, and also insult to my family and myself. Also, thank you so much, Terry, for your question. Have you been able to use drones to cover additional ground from above? Well, I have been using drones. I even have finally purchased a drone kind of later into my search efforts out there in the desert. I've been trying to be real careful the way I've been spending. And it was really hard for me to just purchase drone for the searches. I've been looking for specialized drones, certain drones that can do certain things. But I have volunteers that bring drones all the time. And we've been utilizing a lot of drones out there. That's some ways how I was able to get my sector map, was getting the sector map set up and things like that. Matrix New World helped us as well, because they actually provided that mapping system that we used to create our mapping. So definitely the drones help us plan what areas we're going to search. Like I said, I use the drones to go before the volunteers. We do line searches. I put the drone out there to kind of look and see where we headed, try to see things before we get there. So to keep everybody safe as well. So it helps out a lot in a lot of different ways. Of course, I need certain drones to do some other jobs. Like I said, specialized drones that can do certain things, but unfortunately, I was unable to get those. But yes, we lose a lot of drones out there, Terry. Thanks so much for your question as well. Also, thank you so much. I'm really happy to see you here, Jessica. Thanks so much for being here as well. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for your support. And we definitely, I'm going to put the information up as well for your daughter on the bottom of the screen. I think I still have the information. You guys, I've been showing, let's see if I have the information here as well. I want to make sure before I say Alicia. And I do have her on the bottom of the screen there. So, of course, you guys know any information about Alicia, please, her mother is definitely out here searching very hard. Information you guys have seen me put it up on the screen before. I don't have the content with me at this moment, but definitely wanted to make sure that you guys, please, if you know anything about Alicia Navarro is she's been missing since September the 15th, 2019. She's been missing from Glendale. She's missing from Glendale, Arizona. Her date of birth is September the 20th, 2004. Her age now is age 15 that she have here on the card here, but I think it was 2 years ago, so you guys can kind of add that into as well. She's a female, of course, Hispanic. Hair is brown, eyes color is brown, as well as she's 4'5" in height and 95 pounds. Again, you guys, the information is right here on the bottom of the screen. It's very important. She's a child. Of course, she went missing. She wrote a little note to her mother, said that she would be back. She would be back. She took off, but she would be back. And she did. She's a child. She's a child, you guys. I gave y'all the story before. I don't have the information on me. I want to make sure I quote everything correctly. Look for the paper. I have papers right here, you guys. Don't see me looking down, but definitely I will be sharing that story as well again this evening. So you come back on the Q&A this evening. I will be sharing the story. It's very important for her mother to find her daughter. I couldn't imagine a mother's pain. I know Daniel's mother, her pain as well for Daniel is missing. So it's hard to see that, you guys. So definitely you guys can help her out and help her find her daughter. I really would appreciate that as well. So all the information on the bottom of the screen there. And thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate that. And it really was a pleasure to meeting you. And like I told you there, you have a family for life. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. Also, you guys, I want to thank everybody else who came in. If you guys have any more questions, don't forget to put that question mark there, the capital letter Q or things like that. That would definitely help. It helped also for me coming down the comment section to see your story. Also, you guys, thank you so much, Rachel Honor, again for that super chat. I really appreciate it. That's really, really kind of you for doing that. I really appreciate it. God bless you for that. That's really nice of you. Like I'm saying, that helps out as well as it also helps me morally and mentally, I meant to say, and it helps me as well to see that support. So I really appreciate that. You showing your love, and I really appreciate it. God bless you so much for that. Also, Regina B, thank you so much for being here as well. Good morning to you as well, being a part of this Q&A. I really appreciate it. Thank you for signing the petition. I see you say you signed the petition, and let's see here. You signed the petition as well, so I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you, D-Love. I really appreciate it that you come here as well, for being here as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lois. Thanks so much for being here from North Carolina. I really appreciate it. Thanks also for moderating in this chat session. Also, thank you, Mr. Larnell, for being here. Thank you for being part of the team as well and moderating, and also everything that you in the background. I really appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Tammy, thanks so much for being here this morning from the Facebook side. And yes, I have been I've been checking homeless shelters to the homeless population for Daniel, getting all those flyers out there to the homeless population around here, especially in I've been doing more in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. Also been trying to get other places where I can find the homeless. That Arizona have a lot of homeless population here. That was kind of one of the things I noticed when I first came out to Arizona. You'll find a homeless person on every block. I'm not used to seeing that from South Carolina. You don't see that, but here you see a lot of homeless people. It's sad, of course, but definitely want to make sure I reach that population because you never know. There was also a theory one time ago that Daniel, let's say he hypothetically was in this vehicle and somebody took him somewhere to get help. He don't know who he is or bumped his head or something, that type deal. So we was looking into that in the past, and that caused me to go to. That's before I got more information I have now, and that caused me to hit all these homeless population. I even did some volunteer work at one of the homeless shelters here. So just to make sure I get those flyers out as well, and also to understand that population, so I can be able to get information. Also, thank you, D Love, again for being here. I really appreciate that, and thank you, Shero's Nation. I wonder, Shero, if you come in the chats, and I wanted to share that video you have on this channel, your assessment of my son's case. You're right on point. I told you that already, and I shared it on my page, but I would like to share it on Q, and I keep forgetting about it. But you see it on my chat, see me talking right now. Put on the chat that you're okay with that, and I would probably try to put it on this evening because I want people to see that one. And also, people, you guys, you can go to Shero's Nation's channel. She have a channel as well, putting out some good content. You guys, you can go support that channel as well, Shero's Nation. But definitely want to be able to put that information there that you have put up. It really, really helpful. If you can do that. So if you can put in the chats that it's okay, we'll utilize that this evening on the next Q&A prime time. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. I really appreciate it from the Facebook side of things as well. Thanks so much. And also, yes. And I see, thank you also, PM Channel, for your question. Is it possible to have the well drain from the video you showed last week? I'm not sure, but I know a company, and let me tell you the irony to that, because when I wanted to get into that company and get into that well about those suspicious items there, I went to Matrix about it and see if they could recommend a company that does that. And lo and behold, the only company they know that actually can go get things like that out of wells is Weber. So I thought about that the other day. Myself and my best friend went out there yesterday. We went out to the desert to do some assessment of the desert. And because I got some things gonna be happening out there in the desert pretty soon. Excuse me. And I visited that well site yesterday, and man, nothing else seemed like it was touched to me. But the thing is, I thought about that as well. The only company that they know that actually pull those things out of there to check to see if that's a human person skull on the bottom, like I told you guys, will be Weber, right? So I was thinking if they had equipment to take something out. I'm not putting no bad press out there, and I'm not suggesting things, but I'm just saying, they had equipment to put something in my opinion. That's what I said to myself. But to lift these heavy pipes, my best friend and I would see the pipes. You guys, I have some video. Matter of fact, I'll show that this evening too. I took some video while I was out there, and you'll see these pipes that's stacked up out there. And one of them missing, and I know that one of them that's missing because it's down in that well, right? And that's the one that's down in the well. So that just shows me, like I'm saying, you guys, somebody put that down there for a reason. The guy who did the search the well with me, the company, says nothing is supposed to be in there. He was really shocked to see all that stuff in that well like that, and things like that are supposed to be there. Tons of dirt they put down in there to cover something up, that type of stuff. So you guys, that's always been suspicious to me. I go to Buckeye about it, whoever about it. Those guys are not serious about trying to find Daniel, because they went to that well, that same well I'm talking about, Buckeye Police Department, that is, called these old guys with some makeshift camera out of Maricopa County. Again, they claiming it's Maricopa County people, and put this camera in that well that can't even go underwater. It barely touched the surface of water. They look at it and they pull that thing back out there and say, "There's nothing else to see here." Basically, that's how I take it. And then it was really highly upset when they looked on the bottom of the camera, and the camera must have barely brushed the water or something. And there's hurting word about their little camera being damaged by water. And so that's what caused me to make sure I get a company that actually have cameras that go in that water. And that's when we found all that stuff down there. So like I said, it's sad. It's sad to see police department do half the job, and they'll put in their report, and you guys say, "Oh my God, they searched the well." Like, how did you search that well? That type deal. They're not doing the job. They just making, to me, is a like I told you, a PR campaign, as well as just a show, just putting on the show. But definitely that question is, can it be drained? I don't think drained, because that water's flowing from out the ground. But as in from, I don't know if it can or not. They could probably put pumps in there and just keep pumping that water, but I don't think it can actually drain unless that well run out of water. But the company that can go down and get that stuff out, so it happened to be Weber, the company that Ken worked for. Matter of fact, that's probably one of his jobs, taking things out those wells that get down in there. So I don't know. So it's kind of ironic, though. I thought about that when I was out there yesterday. So can you schedule local media interviews to put pressure on Buckeye to change the status of endangered person? Yeah, we can do that as well. You guys, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm planning a protest pretty soon. So you guys, if you down with protesting, or you think that's a great idea, I want to see some thumbs up in the chats. You guys give me some thumbs up. I would like to see that, you guys. I just want to see where you guys, your thinking is. I'm saying if you can't make it or not. I'm not saying it's going to be like tomorrow, but it will be coming up this real soon. I'm planning for this year, hopefully. And you guys, if you want to think that's a good idea for protesting, I want to see some thumbs up, so you guys so I can kind of get a feel on how people would think about that when I present that. So you guys, I will be having a protest coming up pretty soon. So I'm not going to tell you exactly how I'm going to do it right now. You hear about it later. And I can tell you it will be affecting not just the Buckeye Police Department, but it'll be affecting some other things as well. So definitely putting those things together. So guys, be aware of that as well. But thanks so much for saying that. About that, kind of brought up some things I want to talk about pretty soon here. So, but definitely, they need to change his status. First of all, not just endangered, but also a criminal case. We have given them so much hard evidence. They turned down. I'm telling you guys, that's when my relationship went bad with the Buckeye Police Department. Soon as my investigator gave them hard evidence, physical evidence, that's when they stopped talking to me. So when they stopped talking to me, and then not only that, they have never come to my searches, never offered any help. The city manager ain't even said hello to me. The mayor ain't never said hello to me. The whole city officials, everything about Buckeye never did anything for my searches or anything, right? Nothing. Didn't provide any money, didn't do anything. I tried to ask them to help me get the money up for the reward. They don't want to do that. The chief hall's making all the excuses to some political stuff. Can't do that, right? So, but they didn't put nothing, but they definitely put money into an investigator of their own, because they don't like what my investigator found, and just to try to rebut my investigator. So they spent, I know how much I paid my investigator, thousands of dollars. And so they said they say he's supposed to be this great investigator. I know they spent thousands of dollars that it could have went towards my son's searches, to drones, to you name it. The things I've been asking for, searching these mines that's out there, these wells, but they decided to ignore me as a father's being here on day one since June 26th, not show any help in my searches at all. Didn't put a dime into my searches, and to take that same money and put into their own investigator to say what they want, in my opinion, to say what they want to hear, that type deal, to keep their story that my son mastermind all of this just to be away from his family, join the monastery, become a monk or something, that type deal. So, yeah, definitely need to change that. That's why it don't just need to be changed; it need to be out of the hands of the Buckeye Police Department. So you guys, like I said, you guys believe in this protest, put some thumbs up in the chats and let me know. I want to see how many thumbs up I can get there. So also, thank you, Shiro's Nature, for your question. I really enjoy your question when you have those questions. My apologies if I missed this. I haven't been able to keep because I had COVID. Okay, but are you still doing the ambassador program? Yes, I am. I'm still interested in being an ambassador for my region. And I really appreciate that, Sheroes Nation. I really appreciate you coming out to the meeting that time as well to learn a little bit more. I will have some tomorrow, you guys, for the ambassador program. If you come out tomorrow, I will be there. What I did is I took off that requirement. I think that could have been a hindrance to some people, the requirement that you had to put your email in and things like that. I did that for a safety reason, but I did take that off to make it more accessible. And I thought that may help you guys come on to the ambassador meeting, so I can really tell you guys what I'm trying to do with it and how that would help. And as well, Sheroes Nation, I really appreciate you saying that, and you would do that. And if you come along, or you can contact me, we can talk about that again. I would like to put a little more details on that and how that will work in the future going forward as well. So definitely, you guys, I really appreciate it if you can come into that ambassador meeting and just to hear me out, just to hear me out and tell me what you think, that kind of stuff. So definitely, I really appreciate it. Appreciate it, Sheroes Nation. Also, Sheroes Nation, don't forget, if you can, if you want me or allow me to be able to use your video here on this Q&A, I would like to put it on a separate screen there, pull your page up on a separate screen and show everybody this evening that video that you created about Daniel's case. I definitely endorse that one, and I definitely endorse it, and I really, because you're definitely on point. So I really appreciate that. Also, thank you, Tammy, for being here as well on the Facebook side of things, coming in to show your love as well. And yes, I have checked these homeless areas as well, so thanks so much. All right, so thank you also, Mindy, for being here. I really appreciate it. And on the underwater drones and canals, no, I don't have any permission on those. I know those waters are very protected. Now, what I have done, Mindy, is on my last search, I had volunteers to go up and down the aqueducts to see if there was any tears in the fence, in the openings, or any way that a person would get over that fence, or whatever the case may be, to get in that aqueducts and get into those canals. And we didn't find anything like that. So I'm not saying that nobody had a different way to get there, but we didn't find anything there. So they're very highly protected. You won't just be able to get in that gate without, kind of what I hear, law enforcement and things like that showing up. So, getting into that gate. All right. Thank you, Tati, again for putting that up. Like, share, subscribe, you guys, if you can. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Also, you hit that bell button, to be reminded every time I come on this Q&A, putting the information out. So hit the like, share, subscribe button to help the algorithms and help this channel grow. I really appreciate it. Thank you, D-Love, as well. Thank you, Esther, for being here. I really appreciate you guys for being here. So let's see who else I got here. Christopher, thanks so much for being here as well. And I see you have a lot of things there. I'm not sure if there's a question. Let's see. Yes, but thank you so much for being here. I see your opinions there, that you have your thoughts, and I really appreciate you coming in, sharing that. All right, thanks so much. Leo, that takes his serious. Okay, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. All right. Thank you also, Allegria. Thanks so much for being here in this Q&A. I really appreciate everybody being here. If you guys have any questions, again, put the word question there before your question. Capital letter Q, question marks. That would definitely help. This Q&A is a little bit more about answering those questions. If you guys have those, and I will be able to talk about, they'll elaborate on it. But we have some more content, talk about some things that I want to talk specifically about this evening. I can't tell you I didn't get that much rest this last night, so I'm really trying to cut things short. But I will be, like I said, talking about a little bit more on the next Q&A today. For those who could not make it this morning, can definitely join me this afternoon at 5:30 p.m. That's Arizona time, right here in Arizona. Also, I think California is still on their time, so it'd be California time as well, 5:30 p.m. today. If you're on the East Coast, it'd be 8:30 p.m. Tonight. So for your time. So you guys, that's the Q&A this evening, Q&A prime time. I will be sharing a lot of things on that as well. Also, thank you, Terry, so much for your question. And coming off the Facebook side, have you met with a major or city council members of Buckeye to inform them of how this case was handled? What can be done, and how they might be able to help? Yes, I have. You know, you guys, I have been a couple times the city manager, the mayor, and the city manager, all them supposed to know what happened in their city. Anytime somebody put 40 weeks of desert searches out in the city using their citizens, a lot of Buckeye citizens came out as well. They also been donating to the GoFundMe. And also I've been, my searches have been finding, like I told you guys, human remains to you name it, finding out crimes that happen in the desert, right? And it's happening in Sonoran Desert, but in Buckeye, right? So finding crime, they're supposed to know about those things. You can't be a mayor, city manager not knowing what's going on in the city, right? First of all, they know that. The second thing is I've been asking them for FBI help. I've been asking every time I talk to Chief Hall at the time, his chief, I always CC these guys in that email, these officials, in the email that I'm sending to Chief Hall, so he can't say he didn't receive it. They all received that email. They already know what's going on. Not one time have they responded to anything I sent to Chief Hall. Then they ignored me. They ignored me so long for months, almost going on a year. So I started coming to the city council meeting. I came the first time just to sit there to see, so they can see my face. They knew I was. Chief Hall looked really weird when he saw me walk through the door. Him and Chief Sanders at the time. And they know who I was out there, and I came there with my team. We sat there first and let them know we're there. And the second time I came there, I spoke. And because I let them know I'm here, this is what we're doing in the desert, all the information you're saying, what could be done, all that stuff there. And they had stone faces, no emotions, no nothing. I almost felt like they didn't want me there. And to this date, they have not reacted, have not said anything. My condolences. Thank you for helping find these missing people. Whatever, something. Get the hell out of my city. Nothing. They say nothing to me, and that just tells me right there the kind of people they are, and from this date. So I look at that department. I look at that whole city of Buckeye the same way. The officials that's running that city, I look at them all the same way. And if you think about the farther west you go, you find things like people like them. And that's what I see from the Buckeye Police Department, as well as the city manager, the mayor, the vice mayor, the city councils, all of them, the city manager, all of them. So I don't have nothing positive I can say about it. They don't show nothing positive. So definitely not worth my time, not worth anything to me. So thanks so much, Terry, for the question. All right, I have also thank you, Monica, for being here. I really appreciate you coming in from the Facebook side of things as well. Let me see who else I got here. DJ Moore, thank you again for being here and constantly coming. I really appreciate you constantly coming and showing your support. I really appreciate you being here. I see, DJ Moore, I would say, thanks so much. I said, then I have D Love as well. I see all these D's. So thanks so much for being here, both of you. Kurt, thanks so much for being here as well. And also thank you, Angela, for being here as well. So, all right, let me see here. So I got here, Amber, for being here. You guys, if you have any more questions, please put the word question there, the question marks, a capital letter Q, so I can find your question that's coming down. Captain Kurt, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate that as well. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody as much as possible. Angela James, but thank you, D Love, for being here again, and thank you for your question. Mr. Robinson, was forensic done on Dane's apartment? My investigator did some things. Well, my former investigator, I want to say, have done some things. And I'm still waiting on a report from that. You guys, I've been having a hard time, and to be honest with you guys, since he stopped working for me. And I've been waiting on reports since, written reports about things like that, what he's done, what he found. Still don't have it. Still don't have it to this day. And I paid him thousands of dollars for this thing. So you guys, I'm still waiting on those. All right. But I don't have anything back from, he said he did it. You guys seen the bag I told you that belonged to him when he was in my son's apartment. And once he was finished, the family was able to come in and grab some things. I was able to start packing my daughter as well, packing his apartment up to get things put in, away. So, but other than that, yes, there's some forensic stuff done. Supposedly have been done. I'm still waiting on that. That's how I was told. So I'll see. All right. Thank you, Shiro's Nation, again for your question. Oh, not a question. Just responding to you. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will, and I will make sure the integrity stay on your page, meaning that I'll just pull your page up and share a screen. That way, on the Q&A this evening, I was just share a screen that video, and so everyone can see what I'm talking about. You guys, I really endorsed that one. She's right on point. Again, you guys, if you go to Shiro's Nation channel, you will see that a lot of wonderful work that she does on that channel. But one is specifically that I want to show you guys this evening. I will be showing that part of my Q&A this evening. So you guys come back on 5:30 this evening p.m. 5:30 p.m. here Arizona time. That's California time. I guess it's Nevada as well. And it'll be 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast. You kind of adjust the time on that. 8:30, I think it's 7:30 Central time. So adjust your time based on those two. And if you guys can come join in, I really appreciate it. I would love to see you guys here on the Q&A. I see the numbers. Numbers have grown, you guys coming out to follow this Q&A as well. I know I hear y'all a lot of you hear the same thing over and over again. That's the whole point. This channel is about Daniel's story. Supposed to be putting out all the information I can about Daniel's story, and also be able to help other families in the process. So definitely, you hear a little more things. I try to add in much as I can without giving everything that I do know about Daniel's case, because there's some things I can't share. I never shared before, and I'm really eager, and I've been really wanting to share some things with you guys. Probably have a lot of interest into Daniel's case, but some of those things I'm just waiting. I'm waiting on law enforcement. I'm not waiting on Buckeye. I'm waiting on other law enforcement I talk to. They know who they are, and waiting on them to do something. You're in law enforcement. Your law enforcement is your job to fight for the law, defend the law, right? I don't care if it's who it is that's breaking it. You're supposed to defend against crime, or bad conduct, or whatever the case may be. That's their job. So those blue factors and all kind of stuff that need to go out the window. Nobody don't care about that. That blue factor causes lies. It causes all kind of bad things to happen to people, just to save the skin of another bad officer. So that's why, again, guys, you'll hear me go off on that. But the whole bottom line is you cannot be a good police officer if you know people not doing the right thing and you sit by idle, don't say nothing. That means you're a bad cop too. And that's what I'm saying. If per se, is there really good cops out there? It's questionable. It's questionable. As long as they have that blue thing and they don't speak up, they see things being done wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a bit top political figure or not, or whatever. If you see things that's not done right, and you can sit back idly and watch that, and somebody's family member is suffering, people suffering over it, and there's a crime and something's wrong, you don't say nothing, that means you're a bad cop, and you should quit. You should not be in that position. So, also, Brooke, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Daryl, for being here. Thank you, Jet, for being here as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. Amber, thank you so much for your question. What kind of bag was the New York bag that was found in Dane's car? Was it like a duffel bag? No, it's like a little. I thought about one thing that came to my mind first, and I can say this: it's like a Crown Royal bag, but a really big one if you want to think, but not really, really huge, but a little bigger than that bag. But it pulls the same. We have the little drawstring, the same type of way, but it's a New York City bag. And with that New York City bag, I asked him, "Hey, what is that?" And he said, "Oh, it's he just dumped the contents on the back of the seat." And but when I think about it, hindsight, my son did visit New York. He had friends there. His first time he went to Times Square, and he's really happy to be there in New York. So I don't know if it's something he brought back from New York or that's something that came from law enforcement, but definitely he been to New York. So I don't know if that's some type of souvenir thing, but I've been wondering why we have that logo on it that looked more like a police bag or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. But, you know, definitely I haven't, you guys, like I told you, I haven't been in that vehicle since I've been showed to me by the Buckeye Police Department and also by my investigator. I have never touched the vehicle, never been close enough to, you know, look at that even harder and things like that. So it's there. But yeah, that bag is there. So all thing I can say is it's a bag that's kind of shaped like that bag I just described, but it's bigger, of course, where you can put things in clothes or whatever was in there. I can't remember exactly some content of things that was in there he dumped out. All right. Thank you, Lola, again. Thank you for being here. Thank you also, again, East Coast Stitcher. Thanks so much for being here as well. Angela James for being here. I really appreciate it for being here as well and being a part of this. I'll try to read a little bit. Saying, yes, really heartbreaking. And thanks so much. All right. Thank you, Mr. John QQ. Thanks so much for being here as well. You guys, you go to Mr. John QQ channel and, you know, follow him as well. He's been doing a lot here on this side of things, helping me also at the beginning. I've been doing some interviews with him as well, sharing a damn story on his side as well. He's been helping in the background to try to get some of these answers and stuff like that. So you guys can go check him out as well. All right. And thank you so much again, like I said, Mr. Q, for being here. All right. Who else I got here? Craig, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you as well. Let me see who else I got. Anybody have any more questions? Please put that question mark there, the capital letter Q. You know, the word question. That definitely will help as well. All right, don't forget that tip line as well. I'm going to put that back down. Thank you so much. And that's all that information still sitting there for Alicia Navarro. You guys can look at that again real quick. And if you have any information about that case, I will be talking about that this evening as well. Please call the Glendale Police Department as well, anti-predator project also to help that family out. All right, and that's the tip line there, you guys. Again, that tip line is for that person or person that may know something and hesitant, you know, know something and hesitant or afraid or whatever the case may be. That's what the tip line is for. You can remain anonymous. If you don't want to talk to anybody at all, you can just text the word tip to that phone number that see strolling on the bottom. And also what Tatia put up. And definitely you can remain anonymous. Melinda, thanks so much for being here as well. Thanks for coming in from North Carolina. I really appreciate it. 40 minutes from Greenville. I really, thank you so much for printing those flyers out and putting them out. I really appreciate that. God bless you for that. Yeah, I really need those flyers out there, you guys. That helps. You know, I'm gonna show you the picture of these flyers for those who may not know. You guys are here. I'm tearing up everything. But this is the flyers here, right? I always have my orientation badge. This is a flyer. Look just like the background I have back there behind me. On the back side is the reward. I definitely have an orientation problem here. But the reward and the phone numbers, things like the tip line. So the information there as well in the front tip line as well. The QR code. And you know, this thing has been designed on purpose the way it is. I'm telling you guys for a purpose is that it's made on the, you don't have to do this, Melinda. I'm not saying you have to do this. What I'm saying is where I designed it, had it designed was to make sure it's the size of a postcard. Because imagine when I first started this thing, I had the flyers was the side of a notebook paper or legal paper. And then I had them laminated. So can you imagine people carrying that around all day, every day? Very hard. And then I started hitting up the homeless population and things like that. And also some of these facilities. So I have some that even made of a size of a business card as well. So I don't have them show those, but they're small as well, of the size of a business card, but for different purposes. And the reason why, like I said, the reason why I wanted those to be the size of a postcard is because I'm passing out to the homeless population. It's easy for them to carry. Man can put it in his back pocket, one can put it in a purse. They can carry it around and say, hey, always constantly have it on them. And say if they saw Daniel in the population, they can say something, hear something, say something. And I'm sure they can use that reward. So be able to say something. So the thing is, that's one of the reasons why. And also it also still serve the purpose of being put inside a store or whatever the case may be. It's still large enough for people to see and things like that. Then it's thick enough. And so it's a lot of things I took into consideration when designing the flyers and having them designed and stuff like that to get out there to the public. You know, you had to be durable as well. You know, saying people. I have some volunteers like to put them up on poles and stuff. Even though it don't rain much here in Arizona, but in some other states it does. So, you know, that way it can hold up pretty well. So, thing is, you know, there's a whole lot thought into it. And I said a lot. My team always say, why you keep doing that? And I do it because, you know, I just want to say, you know, just kind of explain that. But I'm telling you guys, if you can, no matter how you print them out, that definitely helps out. I mean, it helps out and get those flyers out there because, like I said, I'm trying to reach that person that knows something. That's why the tip line is strolling on the bottom right now, is to try to reach that one person or persons that know something and just didn't know. And now once they find out, they're willing to talk or something like that. That's what those flyers can do. Also, thank you, Amberton. Thank Amber Overton for your question. Is it true that Daniel sent an emergency text message to his sister days before he went missing? Could he had known he was soon to be in danger? That was the day before he went missing, by the way, Amber. So yes, he did do that. What it was told is that they had, you know, to give a little background. Daniel was here. His sister came out here to Arizona as well to live later after Daniel was here. And so they had each other, their siblings. They don't have many people here. They didn't have no friends and stuff in Arizona. So their friend, they have family, and they have each other. So if something was go wrong, they had their little code where they would text the word emergency to each other or something. That would be an indication of something not good. But when Daniel did that, he also later, when she asked him about it, because she was worried when he did that, of course, that was their code. But the thing is, he came and said, "Oh, I'll just pull in a Daniel," meaning that I just want to see how fast you react, you know, that type deal. So there's two ways that we was looking at that, but is he was just saying, "Hey, look, I was seeing if something or he suspected something go wrong, would she respond really quickly?" Almost like having a fire drill or something, you know, that type deal. But nevertheless, also we looking into it as well as something was going on, but he didn't want to alarm her. So we don't know yet. We're still trying to find the answer out. Would it have been the relevance? Because it was during the time when he went to, as you know, the Waffle House. So all that runs together. All right. So yes, thanks so much. He did put that emergency text to her. Angela James, thanks so much for being here as well. And let's see who else I got here. Terry, thanks for being here as well. And Craig, thanks so much for being here as well. And then I have another question here from Amber. Thank you, Amber, for your question. Not sure if you have had time to talk to Daniel's friend, friend Luke, but I wonder if he stayed over at Daniel's house when he visited him the weekend. Yes, he did stay over his house before, and I do know that because that's the conversation my son and I had 2 days prior to he went missing. So part of the question, something we were talking about. That wasn't a question, but some of the things he was telling me at the time. But yes, he did, and I did talk to Luke before at one of us. He did come to one of the searches when he came here to live here in Arizona. I don't know if he's still here now, but he did come to live here in Arizona during the time. They work for the same company as well. So yes, I spoke with him briefly. But didn't have an in-depth conversation with him at all. All right, I do have Craig here. Thanks so much. And I have a question here from East Coast Stitcher. Thanks so much for your question. Is the desert the only place you're looking? No, there's many other places as well. So you guys probably remember one time I had, well, not just one place in the desert at that. My search was mainly off of Sun Valley Parkway, the Sonoran Desert there. Also had a specialized search in a different location near the first well site, and that's because the things I had to find out from an investigator standpoint about that first well site. So still some things need to be checked out, but definitely no, that's not the only place I search. But the need people, public, stuff like that, that desert is huge. very intimidating. Just been out there again yesterday. It was hard. It's hard out there every time I go out in the desert. I go out there by myself at times. It's hard to go out there and, I stand there. It's so eerie quiet. That's one thing for sure. And the other thing is always very intimidating, meaning that I know it by heart now. Some areas I can just go because I've been out there so much. You imagine after 40 some weeks, I know it pretty well. The areas out there, but I don't know all of it, but the areas. And when I look at from a vantage point and see the areas that haven't been searched yet, that's is in reasonable distance concerning everything, is very intimidating, especially trying to how to get people mobilized to want to come out and help search those areas that need to be searched. So it's very hard to do that. And also the fact that, if my son is out there and I haven't found him yet, I've seen the things that the desert does to a human body because we recovered human remains. And so, it's very difficult just to be out there to think about those things. My best friend and I, he was feeling the same pain um, out there while I was out there yesterday. So, but yeah, I searched other places as well. That's just not, there's not the only place. That's the only place the public see because those are public searches. Things I do other than that is non-public. So people won't see other things that I checked out. I go check out. For instance, I check out some of the facilities that Daniel visited and things like that. So that's part of investigating. So that's just what happens. There's a lot of movement. You see me say, like I told you guys, I'm really tired as well. Not being able to get the proper sleep. So I'm really purposely was trying to cut the Q&A short this morning so I can be really fresh for Q&A this evening on the prime time. But yeah, it's always moving. I'm always moving, doing some things. And then the days I'm not moving, I'm always online trying to get things done as well. So, all right, thank you. Brittany, thanks so much for being here off the Facebook side. Have you reached out to multiple crime podcasters? Maybe they can help spread the story. Yes, I've been on so many podcasts, and I really think each and every last one of them, I want to say them all by name, and I'm afraid to because I don't want to miss anyone. But all the wonderful people, especially in the true crime community, have really been putting Daniel's story out, and some of them with major platforms out there has helped as well. So yeah, I constantly talk on big and small platforms. So I was able to do a lot of those podcasts and things like that. So very helpful, and I really appreciate each and every last one that have shared Daniel's story. But yes, to answer that question, yes, they do help as well. All right, Mary Flynn, thanks so much for being here as well. Thank you, Tati, for putting this up. Please help find Daniel.com is the only website for Daniel, and it is. Thanks so much for putting that up. It is the only website. It's the only source of you guys. If there's something that someone say, hey, I'm speaking on behalf of the family or not. Now, one thing I'm gonna say this right here: my family, meaning my children or Daniel's mother, for instance, was to say, hey, I want to start something. I would support that because you know what? That's coming from the family. And I'm hoping, pray that I know what those are because I want to make sure that you guys go to those as well. But if it's somebody else that's outside the family, say, hey, I'm representing the family. No, it's not. And especially they saying I'm representing David Robinson or you can come to me or whatever the case may be. No, I have never done that. Even when the search is out there, that was one of the things I found out later. Not mentioned this before. Some things that's out there was diverting. And the owners of that diverting people away from the website. You need to sign up on the website. The only source place you're supposed to be signing up. You sign up on the website. You put your information on the website. Oh, the website, please help find Daniel.com. It's set up that way to be able to do everything. It's functional that way to do everything that needed to be done for the searches, as well as getting information to you name it. So there's a lot of stuff out there. I've seen a lot of things that bearing Daniel name out there from Facebook to you name it, bearing Daniel's name, and but don't have no affiliation with myself or the family. And sometimes misinformation there when you visit, but people just talk. But I just want to say up front that you guys know, talk to you as well. No, it's, definitely one website. Please help find. I had two. Searchfordaniel.org. Now, if you go searchfordaniel.org, it automatically come to Please Help Find Daniel, because I just needed one website, to one source. All right, to get directly to myself, my family. All right, let me see who else I got here. If you guys have any more questions, Morales, thanks so much for being here as well. I really appreciate it. And let's see, Mary Flynn, thanks so much for being here. Sue, thanks so much for being here as well, from the Facebook side of things. I really appreciate it. You guys, everybody that's coming out. Also, Travis, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate you too. God bless you for that. I really appreciate your support and your help and your love. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. God bless you. And like I said, you guys, that's a morale booster for me to have your support. And I really appreciate it. I'm out here, you guys, trying my best. I'm not an expert, so somebody look for an expert to say, hey, Mr. Robinson, you're supposed to be an expert. You're supposed to do it this way or this, that, blah, blah. I'm just a father who have a missing son. I'm passionate about finding my son. And in the meanwhile, I had to be smart about it, start a YouTube channel. And also in the meantime, I also want to help other people. So help other families, because I know exactly with Jessica, like for instance, going over her daughter, Alicia Navarro. And it's painful when other families go through things. So I want to help them as well. But definitely, like I said, Travis, thanks so much for your love and support, and supporting what I'm doing here. I'm not on vacation. My vacation is this. Daniel will tell you this. Every summer, I'll be on somebody's beach, in a pool somewhere, in the tropical zone. I would not be in Arizona. We talk about it all the time. I'm laughing because Daniel and I, we have that debate, how he just love Arizona and how I'm a tropical guy. Some people say, hey, I don't like to be in humid heat. I love humid heat. That's why I've been born and raised. Florida, closer to the equator, is better for me. I really would like to be in Florida right now, for instance, on a beach somewhere, relaxing, hearing the waves, smelling that salt water. That's me. That's what I love. So I've been here for over a year now, searching for Daniel, in pain. It's painful. Mentally, I'm tired. Physically, all of that stuff. So it's no fun, no games. My son is missing. Emotionally, I'm hurt. I don't have the opportunity to grieve my son's disappearing like I would like to. And I have to fight against law enforcement, who's, I feel, could do more. So it's not easy. So when you guys help any kind of way like that, that means a lot. That just shows a lot of love and support, and I really appreciate that. And you really understanding, from outside looking in, you can understand the difficulty it is to try to maintain yourself, you guys, and maintain yourself, and also just to be here to fight. Just to really have to be here to fight. If I'm not here to fight for my son, nobody will be here to fight for my son. You guys, you see me, I'm standing here, father. I'm not taking away from the rest of the family, but I can say I'm here on the ground. This is how I handle my son's disappearance. Now, I have to say I'm doing this my own way is what I'm saying. So I really had to fight it. Everybody have their own way to doing things. Whether it's Daniel's mother to his siblings, to everybody have a different way they grieve, to the way they handle the situation. I'm a man of faith. My mother taught me about faith when I was a kid, and the kind of faith that she taught me as a kid is action faith. It's no, I'm gonna sit down and pray and ask God to bring my son back home, right? No, it don't work that way. If I want my son to come back home, I gotta go look for him. I gotta actively move. I gotta put my hand to the plow, if you want to put it, and actively go search for my son. What father wouldn't do that? So I just want to make sure that people are clear on that. I just handle my son's disappearance in a different way and on a different level. So when you guys support me like that, and what I'm doing here in Arizona, I really am grateful of that. You guys don't know. My team know, and also some of my closer friends or family know the pain that goes in the background of trying to search for Daniel and not being able to be expressive like I would like to. So, Travis, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody else who's been supporting this. So that means a lot. really make me feel good right now to see that you guys constantly supporting like that. Nikki, thanks so much for your help as well. Thanks for showing yourself here on this Q&A support. You guys, I really appreciate everybody who come in this channel supporting. I really appreciate that. I look at the numbers when it rises and things like that. People who's participating on this Q&A. It's not easy to come on this Q&A and to hear some of the same things over and over again, but you guys know what I'm here for. And you've just been sitting there supporting, and I really appreciate that. All right, thanks to Jennifer again for being here as well. And thank you so much for this information about this Kevin Keeks. Guys, I really appreciate y'all sharing these stories, and I would like to learn more about it. If the family want to come on to Q&A, please hit me up, and please help find Daniel at yahoo.com, and give me that information, because a lot of times, I'll be honest with you guys, I would tell you who my favorite football team. I don't know how well they're doing, but I don't get to watch football. I enjoy football. I don't get to watch certain things on news. I don't know what's really going on about a lot of stuff, especially cases. So sometimes when people ask me about a case, I do not know until you bring it to me, and things like that. So I don't really get to check my messages a lot of times. I'm always constantly busy, so it's a lot to try to take care of, and then try to understand else what's going on out there in the world. So, but yeah, it's sad to hear. I think a man in Dover, Tennessee, left his job and had a accident where he just ran off the road in the cornfield. Two people saw him, Kevin Keeks, walking from the vehicle, and he has to need help. They said that he said no. He just wanted to be left alone. He hasn't been seen since. And and that's tragic for the family, tragic for him as well. I hope they find him. And if I hear more about that case, Jennifer, I would love to hear that. And if I can help some kind of way, I would like to help as well. Thank you also, Travis, for being here as well. Let's see who else I got here. I think I've already said this before, but thank you again, Lola, for being here. If you guys have any more questions, I really appreciate it. If you don't, I really appreciate that as well, for you being here on this Q&A, supporting. And I really appreciate your prayers. I see all the prayers there. If you guys, again, I guess nobody was really agreeable when I said, hey, about this protesting. I said, if you guys think I should have a protest, I'm really pushing that, you guys. Put some thumbs up in the chats, and like a thumb up or yes, something like that. I think you should, whatever the case may be. And I just want to kind of get an idea. Maui, a girl, thanks so much for being here as well. On the YouTube side, Baby Doll, thanks so much for being here as well. And let's see who I got here. Gatewad, thanks so much for being here as well. And thank you for your prayers. I really appreciate that. So thanks so much. I have a question from DJ Moore. Thanks, DJ Moore. Has anyone talked to Ken lately? I do not know. I do not know. I hope it's somebody like the FBI will talk to Ken. But if it's Buckeye, it's probably gonna be worthless. So I don't know though. I don't know. And if anybody ever talked to him at all, and that's the thing. When I did hear from the Buckeye Police, say, "Oh, we spoke to him." I never heard about interrogation, or we brought him in for questioning or whatever. No, I spoke to him, and whatever he said, they put it in their report, and they stand by it. But that man changed. Like I said before, he changed. When I said he changed, his story is more than a person changed a baby diaper. I really meant that, because I watched him on. I didn't know he was doing interviews as well, and he said some things that he definitely didn't say on day one. So he's adding a lot. I think it's catered to, my opinion, events and things like that. So that kind of stuff. So, but nobody's really paying attention to that as well. But I do, of course. That's part of the stuff I write down for myself in my own private investigating. All right. Thanks so much. I don't see any more questions in the chats, you guys. And yes, and that's right. And I'm really glad you put that up there. Please send love to Dane's mother. My heart breaks for her as well. Yes, that's not something a mother had to go through as well, having to missing their son. That's got to be hard, and it is hard. Daniel's mother and I are not married, of course. We're divorced a long time ago. But her and her husband is there in South Carolina. And I'm sure, like I said, any mother would be in pain. They're missing someone they carried in their own body. And, so that's hard for her as well. So, yes, definitely don't forget about her. All right. DJ Moore, thank you again for being here. That question, that is true. He has changed his story every time he says something about Daniel. Yes, he very much have. And those things to me should be indicative of more questions should be asked and things like that from law enforcement side. So, um, you know, uh, you don't tell them how to do their job, but when you see something that's not right, you say something. John Lewis said, the late John Lewis said very well. You see something wrong, you see something that ain't right, say something. You got to say it. You got to speak up. All right. When our search is going to start again, I wanted to do it right here, DJ Moore. Now that it's cool, but I have a search this month here. It's it's not really a search. It's more of a scientific, really lack of words I want to put it, but science experts will be doing some things in the desert and to get some answers that I'm looking for. So, all right, and the public don't need to be there. Of course, we need a whole bunch of people running, but I definitely want to do a search. I'm really trying to get things up funding wise as well. Just certain little things up to make sure that people are safe and going out in the desert. It's cooler. That's a good part. That's the cooler part. But yeah, I'm really trying to make sure that I have things properly done when it comes to searching. I don't just nilly-willy just taking people out in the desert. Hey, come follow me like I'm Moses or something, walking in the wilderness. No, I don't run that way. I make sure people are properly protected, make sure they have the water to, you name it, cooling spot, whatever the case may be, all the stuff we need, the vehicles that need to be out there, the desert vehicles that need to be there for safety. So a lot of that is in mind when it comes to searching. And I just want to make sure everybody's safe. And I put those together. I'm saying it's coming up again. Hopefully, DJ Moore a lot quicker than because I really need to have some areas that definitely need to be searched and that haven't been done yet. The sad part about that, when I went out there, I seen a lot of washes that had, I guess a lot of rain came through this monsoon season, and I have seen some of the washing areas, not the whole desert, but the area where the washes run through. Start tearing up some of the little dirt roads that we passed through, and it was very hard for that truck. That I was really afraid of one part of the truck getting stuck because it was a two-wheel drive. A U-Haul truck is a two-wheel drive and getting stuck or something. But some of the terrain changed, but the ironic part is that there's a lot of tire tracks out there. Even if with all that rain, them tracks are still there. Different trails and stuff still there. They don't get washed away easy. But just wanted to throw it out too. But anyway, thank you guys. I really appreciate it so much. And if you guys can, again, if you come on this evening Q&A, it's at 5:30 p.m. this evening. I would love to see you guys out there. I will have some more. Like I told you, I want to get a little rest. I didn't get in it at all last night. So want to get a little rest, get myself rested up real quick here. I got some things to do today, but I want to jump right back up, do some things. But I will be fresh enough to get this Q&A rolling this evening, Q&A prime time. And if you guys can show up there, and I'll have more things to talk about, as well as I want to show some things of Sierra's Nation. We got to share with you guys that, and also some other things that I probably put some things together where I show you what I did yesterday in the desert out there, and show you that video, and just talk about some things. We also do the question and stuff like that. So I do see a question here from DJ Moore, but definitely you guys can come back and be a part of that Q&A. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate it, you guys. What would you think about setting up a camp and covering as much ground as possible? Coming from Colorado, I would want to cover as much as possible in a few days. Yeah, I thought about it as well. When I used to have the searches in the past, we used to have searches on mainly on the weekend, but there's also on Wednesdays and stuff like that for people who had retirees that had plenty of time to be out there in the desert. So there was a lot of people out almost every day of the week out there in the desert. But the organized search was definitely on Saturdays, and but as in for myself doing that, it was it's hard and impossible for me because I have so much other things to do. I had to go out here and get these flyers. I had to do interviews. I had to do just so much, and it'd be nearly impossible for me to sit there for a few days and in the desert camp out for a few days. I had a logistic coordinator at the time suggested that as well about setting up camp and hanging out. He did that at one time with his wife, a Friday to a Saturday, but as in for several days, it was one of the things that for me, like I said, would be hard and too nearly impossible for me to be able to continue doing everything I'm doing, my efforts for Daniel, and also be out there in the desert that long. So. But yeah, thanks so much, DJ Moore. I really appreciate that. Yeah, because it would be good if I could set something up like that for people who can be out there that long. Of course, I would have to have that coordinated. Again, I'm not really ready to appoint coordinators and things like that. I'm a coordinator for my searches. Anybody can go out there and search the desert on their own. I don't recommend it, and I don't push people to do that because I don't want. It's not my responsibility or liability. But my searches that I put together, yeah, definitely, want to make sure everybody's safe and definitely, be in charge of that part of it because I want some things taken care of now. I want to make sure that these remains that we find out there in the desert are being counted for. Know they're located at all of them, and want to make sure they make it up. I don't like the Buckeye Police Department too well, but I make sure they get those copies of those to this date. It's still connected with my website. You guys go out there and you use my website to collect the bones and take the pictures and the coordinates. It's still a copy still goes to the Buckeye Police to this day. That goes back one thing I'm gonna throw out real quick before I forget, you guys. I remember one time when I asked the Buckeye Police Department to bring in FBI Chief Hall, his and I'm gonna put that letter up one day, but his response was first accusing me. He did it several times already. I told my attorney if you do it one more time, we might have some other issues, but he accused me of holding back evidence or information or something like that out of it. And I like, first of all, I don't work for the Buckeye Police Department. I don't owe them anything. The second part is I always give out if I think I gave them too much because they haven't been doing anything. The tip line, the numbers you see scroll on the bottom of the screen, I had them attached to that. So if you guys would have called and put in a tip, Buckeye, that's before they even came up their own tip line now. They use mine. You guys call in a tip, the Buckeye Police Department get that information as well as my investigator at the time. I cut them off of that, right? He said, I don't see no more anything coming off the tip line. Yeah, because I cut you off. I realized, wait a minute, I don't work for them. I'm paying for this thing. Well, I'm paying for something for Buckeye, and they need to be doing their job. They have the money. They only put a dime in my son's searches. I shouldn't be paying for the tip line for them to benefit from. You know what I'm saying? They should use taxpayer the money they're getting paid for and be able to provide their own tip line, first of all. The other thing is also he says that when every time we find bones, where do you think the information get to them from? Off my website that I pay for. So they get the information as well. So I'm not holding back anything from the Buckeye Police Department. Their laziness to do the work on their own is their problem. And so one of their problems. So that's one thing. That's one thing. So I just want to throw it out real quick because it just came across my mind when you said that it triggered that part. But thank you guys. Thank you again to everybody who came into this Q&A. Athena, thank you so much as well. Pecan Pie, thank you so much as well. Mid, thanks so much. And let's see who was this here. March for the missing. You know, that's good. I really appreciate it. I like that idea there, Mep. That's a really good idea as well. We'll think about that one as well. But you know, again, you guys, I have an idea to do this. I will be doing this protesting coming up really soon, and you know, again, um, you know, I didn't see any response to that, but I will be doing that as well. I'll be reaching out to a lot of communities and try to get this thing organized. And we'll be doing that. So I'll give y'all a date and things like that. So I'll be doing that as well, coming up pretty soon. And thank you guys for coming in this Q&A. I really appreciate it. I don't see any more questions. If you think of any more questions, please come on this evening's Q&A. I will be there. I will be there and have some more things to talk about. So hope you have a good evening, a good day, prosperous day. Everything go well with you guys, everybody who came in on this Q&A. I really appreciate it, and I really love you guys for your support and your love. Thank you so much, and I'll see you this evening. All right, take care.